the United States in worst-case scenario with Pakistan nukes. As U.S.-Pakistani relations spiral downward, the specter of a showdown between the increasingly bitter allies is garnering more attention, including the worst-case scenario of the U.S. attempting to snatch Pakistan's 100-plus nuclear weapons if it feared they were about to fall into the wrong hands. That would be a disastrous miscalculation, former Pakistani President and Army Chief Pervez Musharraf told NBC News, saying that such an act or incursion would lead to total confrontation between the United States and Pakistan. Privately, current and former U.S. officials say that ensuring the security of Pakistan's nukes has long been a high national security priority, even before the 9/11 attacks, and that plans have been drawn up for dealing with worst-case scenarios in Pakistan. The greatest success of the United States war on terrorism, or so they say, the military operation that killed Osama bin Laden in his safe house in Pakistan in May, has fueled the concerns about Pakistan's nuclear arsenal, increasing suspicions among U.S. officials that he had support within the ISI, Pakistan's intelligence service, and causing some in Washington to be emboldened who believe an orchestrated campaign of lightning raids to secure Pakistan's nuclear weapons could happen or succeed. It's no secret that the U.S. has a plan to try to grab Pakistan's nuclear weapons if and when the President believes they are a threat to the U.S. or U.S. interests. Among some of the most likely scenarios, Pakistan falls into internal chaos, terrorists mounting a serious attack against a nuclear faculty, hostilities breaking out with India, or Islamic extremists taking charge of the government of the Pakistan Army. In the aftermath of the bin Laden raid, United States military officials have testified before Congress about the security of Pakistan's nukes and the threat posed by loose nukes, nuclear weapons or materials outside the government's control. And earlier, Pentagon reports also outlined scenarios in which United States forces would intervene to secure nuclear weapons that were in danger of falling into the wrong hands. Such discussions of Pakistan's nuclear arsenal, now believed to consist of as many as 115 nuclear bombs and missile warheads, have gotten the attention of current and former Pakistani officials. In an interview with NBC News, Musharraf warned that a snatch and grab operation would lead to all-out war between the countries, calling it total confrontation by the whole nation against whoever comes in. These are assets which are the pride of Pakistan, assets which are dispersed and in very secure places, guarded by some 18,000 soldiers, said a combative Musharraf. Pakistan's best-known nuke physicist also says the United States snatch operation could trigger war. It should not be attempted. It's safe to assume that planning for the worst-case scenario regarding Pakistani nuclear weapons has already taken place inside the United States government, said a former deputy director of counterterrorism in the Clinton and BUSH White House, and an NBC News consultant. This issue remains one of the highest priorities of the U.S. intelligence community and the White House. The focus on Pakistan is the result of its being the least stable of the 9 nuclear weapons states, and the one where there has been significant support for Osama bin Laden and Al-Qaeda among the general population and within the military and intelligence forces. Yes, this is a sign of the times and another physical manifestation of the book of Revelation. It's time for prophecy to be fulfilled, and it is a part of the vision that I have seen. Revelation chapter 17, verse 15. And he said unto me, The waters which thou saw, where the whore stands, are peoples, and multitudes, and nationalities, and languages. 16. And the 10 horns which thou saw upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. 17. For God has put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and give their kingdom or nation unto the beast, until the words of God shall be fulfilled. 18. And the woman which thou saw is that great city, which reigns over the kings and leaders of the earth. Chapter 18. And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. 2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. 3. For all nations have drunk the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings and leaders of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies and luxuries. 4. And I heard another voice from heaven, saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. 5. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God has remembered her iniquities. 6. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double, according to her works. In the cup which she has filled, fill to her double. 7. How much she has glorified herself, and lived deliciously and luxuriously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she says in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. 8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord God who judges her. It's time for these things to be fulfilled. The 4th angel is sounding. Again, Jeremiah chapter 8, verse 11. For they have healed the hurt of the daughter of my people slightly, saying, Peace, peace, when there is no peace. 12. Were they ashamed when they had committed abomination? No, they were not at all ashamed, neither could they blush. Therefore shall they fall among them that fall. In the time of their visitation they shall be cast down, saith the Lord. 13. I will surely consume them, saith the Lord. There shall be no grapes on the vine, nor figs on the fig tree, and the leaf shall fade, and the things that I have given them shall pass away from them. 14. Why do we sit still? Assemble yourselves, and let us enter into the defenced cities, and let us be silent there. For the Lord our God has put us to silence, and given us water of gall to drink, because we have sinned against the Lord. This is the warning.